Hello all and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be reading the last couple chapters of TankGirl Armadillo. I've been meaning to end this for a while. I know I recorded it before, had to delete it all. Long story short, I do not make the best editor, but I do try. So let's sit down, grab a cup of tea, grab a joint, and get to it. If you're wondering what this is all about, I have been reading chapters of TankGirl Armadillo since I began this channel. We are finally getting to the end point of my very first book that I started on this channel 9 years ago. Yeah, we're going to finish it. So let's get to it. Sorry I had to redo that a little bit there, but I'm really excited, and I'm excited also to share with you at the end of the video the next book that we're going to be doing chapter reading on. So stay tuned for upcoming adventures. If you like what you see, why don't you smack that subscribe button in the face, smash that like button, and let's hit it. It's just that moment where you gotta start prepping yourself, putting yourself together, put yourself in that mindset. Trying. Okay. Here's the best way to perfectly light a joint is to really make sure that the end is really burnt, because if you start puffing it right away, it'll run all over the place and you'll have issues with it burning on one side or being lopsided. So the true trick to it is to make sure that that tip is just scorched, and then it'll burn evenly all the way. Now you know. Ha! Alrighty, so let's get into it, shall we? So we are on chapter 55, The Battle of Armadillo. What are we going to do now? Shouts Booga, wriggling like an eel and doing his best to make an impossible situation worse. We got to get out, I cry. We can't all stay in here. We're a sitting duck unless we can spread out, and we've got to try and turn the tank around so we can use the cannon. Jetgirl pushes down the door handle with her chin and falls out into the hard dirt ground. Subgirl and Booga fall on top of her. Bullets are starting to ping a whiz around the back of the tank. Oh, so sorry about that. I have to grab this little book holder thing. It just makes life so much better. Dobson reverses himself out the driver's door and unfurls his spiny legs. He surveys the marauding mob that is streaming its way towards us. I estimate we've got about 1 minute and 27 seconds left to live. He observes. Any bright ideas, anyone? Boog and the girls are putting their backs into it, trying to shift the tank around, but it's no good. The damn thing won't budge. I'm out of the tank and I'm banging away with Booga's AK-47, and the bastards are banging right back at me with shotguns and air rifles and harpoons, and there's shit flying everywhere. 57 seconds, announces Dobson calmly, as if we're playing some TV adventure game, and the timer will go ping any moment and we'll be out of the running, going home with an embossed pencil instead of the matching pair of scooters. I didn't get a matching pair of scooters for consolation prize. I'm just gonna say I never got. Anyway, I've got a rucksack full of grenades, and Subgirl and Jetgirl are helping me chuck them into the surging crowd. It's not making any difference at all. The fuckers are appearing faster than we can blow them up. They're coming. They're coming out of nowhere, millions of the bastards. They must have all phoned their freak families and invited them down for the bash, and now they're getting real close. I can see the murder in their eyes, and I can smell the hatred on their breath. The sun is beating down, sweat is squirting out of my pores. It is going to be a blood fest and a half. Why don't we just run away? Asked Booga. Run to where? Says Jetgirl, looking around at the deserted pencil line horizon. 20 seconds, says Dobson, and I'm shouting obscenities. Come on, you inbred whoresome brotherfuckers, come and get yours, you ignorant bitches, you fucking shit cake eating barbecue salesmen, because I really feel that we haven't gotten quite angry enough yet. 10 seconds. You can quit it with the Countdown, Dobson, I said nervously. 8, he says firmly, pushing buttons on his oversized digital watch. Does anyone know the Lord's Prayer? Asked Booga. 6, I'm saving the last grenade for myself. 5, oh God, they're almost here. 4, they're right upon us. 3, fuck it. I pull the pin on my grenade and throw it as hard as I can into the mouth of the screaming hick 20 feet away from me. 2, this is it, we're dead. 1, what the fuck? Right out of nowhere, a tidal wave of white liquid floods in from the side, crashing against the avalanching multitudes like a molten avalanche, washing them into disarray and half drowning the buggers. And here's Barney, a couple of short caps by her side, holding a water can each. There's a huge tanker truck behind them. Sorry I'm late, she says, grinning her mad grin. I had trouble laying my hand on enough milk. Milk, I say, almost paralyzed with disbelief. What the fuck? Barney sighs coolly and flops her head to one side in a cheeky, cutesy way. Yeah, I know it's fucked, but it's a whole mother thing I've got going on. I'll explain it some other time. Bam! There's a loud explosion. The guy with the grenade in his mouth has lost his head. Blood mixes with the milk, forming a kind of thick shake for cannibals. Nice. The rest of the mad bastards are starting to get up. They may be wet, cheesy, and stinking, but they're still mad. And there's even more of them flooding out of the town. I'm fresh out of milk, says Barney, throwing her water cannon. We need a more permanent solution to the problem, I remark. You know you're stoned when you don't remember if you recorded that last page you just read or not. Oh well, if I fucked up, leave a comment. Surveying the slowly remaining Chanker's death squad. I brought my army along with me, suggests Barney. Oh great, I replied flatly. Come on, bring them on. Things can't possibly get any worse than they already are. Barney lets out an almighty wolf whistle that screeches across the battlefield like one of those flying farty balloon whistle things that you give away at kid parties. From behind the brow of the very low hill, we hear the marching of dozens of tiny feet. They line up. Why are they so small? It's okay. Everyone matters in life. They line up along the hillside in a tidy formation. They appear to be a lot stronger and more tougher than last time. From a disassembled aircraft, their muscle bodies and chromed accessories glint sharply in the glaring sunlight. That's your army, I ask? Yeah, replies Barney. What happened? Oh, we've been working out, running, jumping, that kind of thing. Barney steps fearlessly away from the protection of the tank and calls out her men. Pancake! The diminutive army immediately scurries about in an orderly fashion, raising their shield above their heads and forming a circle of interlocking metal pieces. Shuffle. A large silvery pancake starts to shuffle towards us. Some of the milky people of Chankers are turning their attention away from us and wandering over to take on the Barmy army? The Barmy army? It's a tongue twister. It fucking got me. Operation! The front ranks of Barney's army raise their shields. Out come the broadswords, slashing and stabbing a pathway through the angry, confused crowd. And they don't stop. They just keep on marching through. Barney, I say with bemused excitement, these short guys are fucking excellent. They reach the tank and surround us in a protective circle. With them has come the full attention of the enemy. They're jeering and chucking stuff at us, and some of them are firing shotguns and rifles. 1 or 2 of the tiny army men are dropped down dead. Garage! The army closes ranks, forming a tight, impenetrable box around us and the tank. A couple of dozen soldiers fall back and grab hold of the tank. With one swift hump, they raise the whole damn thing 2 foot in the air. 2 more guys have divvied dived underneath. They're passing each other spanners and wrenches and shouting unintelligible mechanical diagnosis. Zulu bends down and sticks his afro under the tank, joining in on the complex conversation. "Ready?" asks Barney. "Ready," shout the little mechanics. They drop the tank and move back to their defensive positions. "TankGirl, booga," orders Barney. "Get in." So we get in. The doors close behind us and we look around each other, worried but exhilarated. The crowd outside are starting to rip a hole through the front of our protective human box. Barney walks calmly past my window, spinning a sawed-off shotgun on her pinky as if it's light as a toy gun. She stops right in front of us, and we watch as all tension drops from her shoulders and she straightens out her posture. She turns slowly, smiling confidently, and she belts out a deep and thunderous roar. "Armadillo!" I swear, that moment in life where everything just hits at once. I have a very busy house. All right. As quick as a flash, a score of tiny hands are grabbing the outside of the tank, and we are pushed forward to the front of the assembly. The tiny army guys clamber over each other, expertly forming an oval shell of overlapping metal plates. I can only guess their appearance from the outside, with a bristling skin of shining iron scales and a tank cannon protruding out of the front like a funny mammalian nose, hungry for insects, is indeed very much like a giant armadillo. That's kind of funny. Me and Booga are chucking away. "Fucking armadillo," I laugh. The whole mass of people, metal, and tank starts to move forward. I turn on the tank's engine. It sounds fine again, but I have zero control over my steering. Our direction is at the mercy of Barney's army. "What are we supposed to be doing?" frets Booga. "I can't see a fucking thing." A static crack blasts over the CB radio. "TankGirl, this is JetGirl. Are you in there?" "Yeah, we're in here," I reply. "Where the hell are you?" 300 feet and rising," she reports. "I got washed away with a tidal wave of milk and ended up near where I parked my jet." "Shit," I exclaim. "That's a stroke of luck. Are you alright?" "Yeah," she says. "Apart from the yogurt, it's settling in my pants." "Well, I wouldn't worry about that, darling. It might actually do you some good." "Cheeky," she titters. "Anyway, I've got a bird's eye view of all that shit that's going on down there, so if you need any help, just give me a shout." "How's your defense system?" I ask. "Gone," she said glumly. "Some kids pinched it while we were fucking around in town." "In that case," I proclaim, "you could take our eyes, because we can't see shagall from down here." JetGirl blares back on the radio, static muffled blast. "Well, start firing, you blind fuckers. There's a spearhead of twats standing right in front of your guns, and they're looking to have your knackers on toast for their dinner." Booga flips up the cover on the armory panel and primes everything he can lay his hands on. I grab a hold of an automatic gun controls and pull the trigger firmly back. Fuck it. I'm thinking I take a roll of gaffer tape out from behind my seat and tape the trigger back. The guns are blasting away at the bastards outside, and the smell of burnt gunpowder and red hot smoking gun oil is getting me well overexcited. "Which ones shall I fire first?" asked Booga, his hand hovering around the missile launch buttons. "Fuck 'em," I shout as I push my hand flat against the panel. "Hit 'em all!" A barrage of various shaped and sized missile bombs, shells, flak, ack harpoons, dum-dum stones, oversized nose bullets, and armed warheads cascade out of the front of the tank like a violent stream of explosive projectile vomit. Try saying that one breath was not easy. All right. We can't see what's happening at the sharp end of our attack, but we sure as hell hear the fuckers scream. "How's it look from up there?" I asked JetGirl. "Man," she radios back, "carnage, sheer fucking unadulterated carnage." "So we're getting them?" "Yeah," she replies. "You can say that. Make another volley like that, 1-2 degrees to your left, and you'll be laughing." "We're already laughing," chips in Booga. "Then you'll be belly laughing," adds JetGirl. Great, says Booga. Let's do it. I fucking love belly laughing. I wind down my window and call to Barney that we need to march the tank a couple degrees over. The giant armadillo does as it's told, and I can feel the steering wheel slipping through my fingers as we turn into the enemy. The machine guns have finally run out of bullets, but that doesn't matter. We've got plenty of other shit to throw at them. Same again, asked Booga. Discharge the whole fucking lot, I command. We push every button in sight, and a ton of explosives spew out, scorching the hell out of any living thing a quarter of a mile semicircle in front of the tank. You know, it's kind of funny, reports Jet Girl. From up here, with all the metal scales and your funny tank nose and all the people running around like tiny burning ants, you look like an armadillo having its dinner at a termite nest. Yeah, you know, I reply sarcastically, we've already done that one. Actually, she continues, oblivious, you look like an armadillo that's eaten too many termites and now it's throwing up all over the desert. Or maybe you're a robot armadillo that sticks up fire and death. Or you could be a giant toy armadillo. Enough of this bullshit. Now it's not the time. Okay, Jack Girl, we get the general idea. So what, from your superior position, would you say the score is down here? Kind of difficult to say, really, replies Jet Girl in a slow, ponderous drawl. There's still at least 100 of them. You're making your way back into the town. Are you smoking that heavy weed again, I ask? Jet Girl slurs her reply. Yeah, so? What are you, a fucking copper? I'm going to have words... Do we really have to read that part? I'll smoke while I read this damn book, Jet Girl. Shut the fuck up. So the only thing about this fucking book is like the pandering of her being like, are you fucking stoned? Okay, I get it. It's 1990 and the war on drugs was real, but you didn't have to throw it in my fucking TankGirl. And to be fair, the original comic books don't have any of this bullshit in there. She can get fuck less. Okay? We'll do what they do. But when Booga has his moments and lets her down, that's the only time she's ever even questioned pot. And it was one comic. Get the fuck over it. Anyway. What am I doing? Okay, I'm going to have to... Okay. I lean out my window and bark another order at Barney. We need... Oh, I should next read. We need to go back to town. The bastards are retreating. I'm not going to be able to sleep easy until I know that we wasted every single man jack of them. Sure thing, boss, replies Barney amicably, leaving it to me. We're on our way. You two sit back and have a smoke. But we've given up smoking, says Booga. Booga turns slowly and looks at me in horror. I turn slowly back and return his look. Oh shit, amidst all the blood, explosion and gore, and resurrections and fun, we've forgotten about the one powerful and significant change that we have made in our lives this new year. We haven't smoked for nearly 20 hours. Oh my God. A sea of anxiety washes through my bloodstream. Man, how could I have forgotten about that? The most difficult thing in the world to do, giving up tabs, and I've already gone through almost the whole day of it. But now it's coming back with a vengeance. My teeth are starting to grind. I can feel a clot of stagnant, putrid adrenaline dispersing itself into the nicotine-hungry sponges of my brain. And there it is, that feeling that everything is bad, the feeling that nothing will ever be right again, unless I allow myself to spark up one last perfectly formed thin cylinder of finely tobacco rolled in a lightweight paper and treated with just enough non-harmful chemicals to keep it burning. Booga plogged his way into the bag of donuts. I'm just going to eat myself stupid, he explains with a mouthful of dough. It's the only way to get through it. Let me see one of those doughboys' ass. Dunking my hand deep into the bag, I pull out a jammy one and take a big old bite out of the fucker. Tastes good. No wonder I ate such a huge breakfast. These hunger pains are driving me to distraction. But eating myself to death is not the solution. I've got to do something else with all this nervous energy. I got to let this hen out. How close are we, Barney? I shouted out of the window. Fuck no, she replies with a shrug. This side of town is hardly recognizable anymore. You napped the hell out of it. I get on the radio and call Jet Girl. Jet Girl, wake up. How close are we to town? Hey, dude, she shouted, even more stoned than last time. What do you mean? You're in town already. At least I think you are. Cool, so which way do we go to town square, I ask. Jekko pauses as she takes stock of the ground plan and has a crafty toke on her doobie. Take a sharp left at the next bomb crater, she says, trying to talk and hold her breath at the same time. Carry the pass and load of rubble and you'll come to a huge pile of shit. Take the third exit and follow the ditch around to the right. Joint went out. Do you ever have that thing happen when you're right in the middle of something really important and your stupid thought comes into your head and you just can't get rid of it? Well, I've got one of those right now. I'm thinking John Travolta. He got really high in the charts of the song Grease Lightning, yeah? And the lyrics to that song went something like, you know you that ain't no shit, we'll be getting lots of tit in Grease Lightning. Agreed? So how come the Grease album didn't have one of those explicit lyric parental advisory stickers on the front of the sleeve, huh? So that they had been invented in 1978, but maybe they should have invented them especially for that record. I don't think that John should have been allowed to get away with the filth like that. I mean, Grease is going to be a family show for fuck's sake. I mean, what the fuck is all that supposed to be about? Jesus, I need a cigarette. Anyway, here we are, a giant human armadillo, treading around into a half-destroyed town, nuking anything that crosses our path, and it's getting dangerously near to tea time. It's high time we wrap this show up and bugger off. Wait on a moment. Barney stopped walking. She's just standing there. I think she's seen something, or sensed something. I think I can guess what it is, and I recognize that look in her eye. She got into a trance-like state, taking down a big old hit of oxygen. She tilted her head back and spread out her arms cruciform. Cruciform. The armadillo is ground to a halt. Man, something's gonna happen, I can tell ya. Barney gonna scream. I just know it. I'm gonna stick my fingers in my ears. The fucking Great Wall of China! The armadillo immediately crumbles around us. The soldiers are falling onto our roof and tumbling over each other, eager to take the form of their new order. Now they're lining up behind us and standing on each other's shoulders, making a solid human wall, 2 men thick and 50 men long. And suddenly, we're all left out in the cold. Booga and me in the tank, fresh out of bombs and gasping for a smoke. Dobson standing fast in front of us, holding a bazooka that he's picked up from somewhere. Sub-girl with her 2 trusty 6-shooters and a blood-spattered cowboy hat that she got sitting on her head. And Barney standing alone and unarmed, but probably still the most dangerous person on our team. It takes a second or two, but eventually I recognize we are where we are. It is Town Square, or at least what's left of Town Square. A few of our missiles must have strayed over here when we were blasting our way along the battlefield. More than half of the buildings are gone, razed to the ground by those warheads. The place is a mess of mashed up blood, guts, bits of metal, glass, and cement dust. Fuckleberry's body is still pinned to the road outside the ruined town hall. Carrion crows are picking at his dead, crusty, skin-baked flesh. I can see out of the corner of my eye that Booga is looking at him. He nods solemnly. Fucker, he says, with an air of finality. He opens his door and nods outside. Come on. Barney needs some backup. Let's finish this. We both get out and stand behind Barney. Subgirl and Dobson join us to our right and left flanks. Jetgirl pulls into the view of a couple 100 feet above us. Looking good. Any bastard that tries to fuck with us now has got to be seriously demented. What do you know? Here she is, standing in the doorway right in front of us. Barney's fucking mom. Looking terrible. Barnstable, she pleads. You're gonna fucking die for that, blurts Barney mercilessly. merciless. I cannot say that right. Holy crap. She strides intently toward her mother, pulling the switchblade out that she had concealed in her bra and flicking it open. She's definitely not fucking around this time. Barnstable, please let me explain, she pleads again. I'm gonna slit your fucking throat wide open, continues Barty. Cowboof! A shotgun round rings across the stillness of the square. We all look at the source of the blast. Evan Stevens is standing defiantly at the breach of a wall, a smoking gun in his greasy palms. Behind him stands Tony OKVD 23, a pistol in one hand and the other arm hidden behind his back. Steven cocks his gun and points it in our general direction. Put the knife down, Barney, he commands officially. Evan Stevens, I remark in an oblivious tone. I might have known that you were baiting for the other side, so all that stuff in your office about the pub was that bullshit, huh? Stevens, adds Booga, you're nothing but a miserable turncock. Surely you mean turncoat, replies Stevens. Not from where I'm standing, says Booga, smirking craftily. Stephen walks over to Barney's mom and kisses her passionately. Jesus, Mom, exclaims Barney. What are you, the fucking town bike? I'm just a lonely old woman, her mother replies. You should be... One second. I thought this was the last chapter. It is not. I took a little peekaboo just to see myself a little bit more, but I might have to do another episode of this. Holy most. I thought this was in the last episode. I didn't know the last episode. So let's keep going, though. Happy that I found a hobby to occupy my autumn years with. What the fuck? What's wrong with fucking jigsaw puzzles? Screams Barney. And where the hell is my dad? You fucking with my brain? Your father has joined a monastery, her mother announces sanctimoniously. He has gone off with women for good and he's sworn a vow to chastity. I will never see him again. Barney is able to blow a fuse. You can see her blood boiling. Man, no wonder she's so fucked in the head. You people are fucking insane, she hollers. Why can't you just be normal for once? All I ever wanted was to feel like an ordinary kid, just once. But you selfish bastards couldn't stop thinking about yourselves for a second, could you? Always shagging people behind each other's backs and playing stupid fucking mind games. She stops her rant and takes a moment to regroup her thoughts. Stephen and her mom are just kind of standing there, waiting for her to get it out of her system so they can get this thing over and done with. She draws a deep breath and prepares to launch back into it. Well, look what you've created. I hope you're fucking proud of yourself. I'm a fucking mouse and fucked up wrench. Good for nothing, waste of space. Barney collapses to her knees and starts bubbling like a baby. Pull yourself together, girl, snaps her mother. I'm thinking that we could well have been wrong thing to say to Barney when she's in such a fragile state. In one perfect ballet motion, Barney lifts up her head, brushes her hair from her eyes, and plops a ragdoll-like glance face down into the dirt. As she falls, she sends her switchblade spinning toward her mother at an incredible, hateful force. The knife hits home with a bone-thunking thunk, and Barney's mom staggers backwards uncontrollably, blood streaming down her cheek and the flick knife handle sticking out of her eye socket. Stephen raises his shotgun a couple of inches and instinctively lets off a round straight at Barney's back. Barney manages to push herself up for a second and then collapses back down into the dirt lifeless. That's it. That's a fucking enough. How about it, Dobson, I asked, intoning that Zulu should blow the fucker's head off with his bazooka. Dobson doesn't need to be asked twice. He sends a shell screeching to Stephen's belly. Stephen is punched off his feet and lands heavily on his back and the shell firmly embedded in his guts. We're waiting and waiting. The damn thing hasn't gone off. Stephen is wriggling around on the ground, squealing like a stuck pig. What happened, I asked. I don't know, Dobson, replies Dobson, examining the switch on the weapon. Oh, yes, I do. There's a delay setting. The thing is set to go off in 120 seconds. There's no way of changing it. Tony's 45 RPM is starting to get a bit irate. He's waving his gun at us in the wrong-handed kind of way. What are you doing? He asked, flustered. Can't you see what the man's in agony? Finish him off for fuck's sake. No, I replied defiantly. You do it. What? Gasped Tony. You're telling me to shoot a man dead in cold blood? Well, that's what you're telling me to do, fuckwit. He's gonna blow up in any minute anyway. I looked at Tony for a couple of seconds and I could feel my face contorting to an expression of exaggerated disbelief. Tony, I say with complete astonishment, what the hell are you doing here? You're supposed to be dead. Why, he replies sarcastically, because you shot off my head? Well, I think again, missus. I was saved that night by my fast-acting friends. They rushed me into the toilets and stopped the bleeding with a roll of toilet paper. Look, he reveals the arm that he's been hiding behind his back. His hand is missing, but there's a whole roll of bog paper where it used to be, struck with dry blood, clotted blood. I'm totally gobsmacked. Booga can't control his laughter. I bet that comes in handy for wiping your arse, quips Subgirl. Shut up, he screams. It's not fucking funny. Au contraire, I retort. It's definitely most really fucking funny. Bang! There goes Evan Stevens. Everywhere. We're all covered in blood, guts, and burnt flesh. There, notes Booga monotone. He lays roundabout, deep and crisp and even. Shut up, shouts Tony. There's an add of emotional twist in his voice, and we all noticed it. What's up, Tony? I asked, teasing him like a bully. Did your boyfriend go pop? What was he to you anyway? You're supposed to be a sleazy hoodlum. What are you doing hanging around with the sheriff? He's not a sheriff, sobs Tony. He's my dad. This is getting far too complicated for my little brain, I declare. Let's get the fuck out of here. Wait a minute, says Dobson, closely examining the exploding remains of Evan Stevens. Check this out. Stevens was wearing a synthetic mask. That wasn't his true face at all. Dobson peels the mask away from the disemboweled head and shoulder, revealing the face of a much skinnier, gaunt-looking man. That's not my dad, says Tony, holding back a sob. No, comes a voice from behind us. That's my dad. We all turned to see who's speaking. Barney, I screamed with delight. You're alive. I jumped on her and hugged her down to the floor. We're rolling around laughing until Barney stops the proceeds. Ah, my back, she squeals. She puts her hand up to the back of her shirt and pulls out an exercise book riddled with buckshot. That thing has been making me uncomfortable all day. How did you know to put that there, I asked. It's a habit I got into at school with the headmaster, gave me 6 of the best. Since then, I've always had a jotter down the back of my trousers just in case. Lucky today, with all the running around and stuff, it had worked its way up my pants and it stuck itself to the small of my back with sweat. And your dad tried to kill you, but you got up just in time to see him explode, I enthused. Yeah, reflects Barney. I guess he didn't like the fact that I threw a fucking knife into my mom's brain. So why was your mom shagging Fuckleberry Jones and your dad walking around disguised as Evan Stevens, I asked, genuinely interested. I can only guess that it's some kind of perverse sex game, probably designed to fuck with my brain. It's a miracle, I exclaimed. It's like you come back from the dead. I looked at Booga as he leans against the tank, pinching his nose, unaware of the incidents that nearly sealed his mortal end. This afternoon, it's been a fucking funny day, I declare, getting up from the ground and dusting myself down, and now it's time for tea. Okay, we're gonna have to stop there because that was one hell of a long chapter. There is a few more chapters left. We're going to have to do it in the next episode, which is going to be 56, Smoke Fast, Look Cool, and Leave a Short Butt. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Lose your mind and find your soul. Please hit that subscribe and like. Everything helps the channel and gets us boosted and, you know what I mean, gets more started. So I am going to share still what the next book is because I said at the beginning that I would share what the next chapters of the book I'm going to read. So we're going to go for old school Blade Runner, one of my favorite movies ever. Absolutely love this movie. And I decided I'm going to read chapters of the book on here. So if Stay tuned. This will be coming up. Also, we're reading chapters of the Alan Watts books. I will be getting more into that, but let's be real. Smoking a joint and trying to read something as intricate as Alan Watts is hard as hell to do. I mean, I'm even stumbling on this shit, so no one's perfect. All right. I hope y'all have a wonderful one. I'll be seeing you later. Bye.